Alright, welcome back to DecryptedTech again. Today we have up Thermaltake's TT eSports Challenger Gaming Keyboard Pro. So it's actually the Challenger Pro. This is going to be one of many of the gaming keyboards that we've taken a look at. The difference with this one is that it does not contain the mechanical switches like we saw in the Mecha or any of the ones from Cooler Master's CM Storm line. This is going to be just your straight basic gaming keyboard. It's going to have your backlighting. It's also got some an interesting thing that we've talked about before, kind of going to be able to get a good look at that now, is the hand cooling. Not sure exactly what benefit that has. I know some people sit there and sweat when they're at a computer, but I've never been in the position where I've been so sweaty that I've needed a fan blowing across my hand. So we'll be able to check that out here as we take a look at this board. Again, taking a look at the front of the box, you get a good picture of the board. You can see that cooling fan that's up there right now. It's sort of set up on the left-hand side. And then, of course, you can also set it up on the right-hand side. You have some other items down here at the bottom. Along this side of the board, you can see that you have your hand cooling. It shows you can put it in both spots. You have 10 macro keys. They call it obsessional backlight. So we'll see exactly how that works. It's designed for it says professional and dexterity in one. We'll figure out what that means as we take a deeper look at this board. Underneath the front flap, interestingly enough, you don't get a picture of the board, you just get more marketing information. It's telling you exactly what it's got. It's got red illumination backlight, 2 USB 2.0 ports, macro keys, multimedia, 64K of onboard memory, onboard profile switching. You got a backlight switch, Windows dummy keys, the fan device, of course, smart cable management, and you have some replacement keys. On the upper portion of the flap, you have a little bit of information about the GUI that's going to be there for you to set this up, and it does come with the software. It's actually on a CD inside the box. Alright, so that's the front and the back. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got there. On the back here, it's just in as many languages as you could think of. They have just an informational on what's in here. Illuminated, it says unique illuminated keyboard for gaming, all of that, and it's just going to be in different languages. You have French, German, all of that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get it unboxed and see exactly what we get inside. Alright, when we open up the box, the first thing we notice is that there's a nice cloth bag in here. This actually has the keyboard inside it. So we'll go ahead and pull that out and set it off to the side for just a minute. You also have a rather thick container here. This has all of your manuals. It has a couple of those stickers with the dragon. It has a warranty policy pamphlet. You have your driver's DVD, which is always nice. And you have a manual that, again, comes in multiple languages. The primary one is going to be English, but you also have German, Russian, French, and Brazilian. Pretty much everything you can think of inside here, so you'll be able to get everything put together. Alright, down underneath the front of the box, you'll see that you have 2 additional bags. We'll go ahead and pull those out, and we'll take a look at this one first. Inside this bag that has that nice dragon logo on the front of it, you have your USB cable. This is going to be a cloth braided USB cable. It also has a 90-degree angle head, which allows you to plug it in a little bit easier and get some more firm cable management on it. And then you also have gold-plated ends at both sides, and a nice Velcro strap to lock this away when you're carrying it or when it's not in use, or even to take up excess cable. You also have your hand cooler. This small little fan plugs in with a small adapter, plugs into the back of the keyboard. You can put it in one of 2 places, which we'll go ahead and show you, and it also allows it to spin so you can get the right angle. It's going to have probably have some good airflow to it. We don't know yet. We don't even know exactly the specs of this, but we'll plug it in and we'll show you it working so you can see and hear what that fan sounds like when it's in use. This smaller bag here is actually some replacement keys and a key puller tool. And we've shown you how these work here, which you've just got your red keys. You can replace your ASDF or replace them with your arrows. And then these are your Windows dummy keys. They'll just replace those Windows keys so that you won't have the start menu or the start screen, if you're going to be running Windows 8 with this, pop up during the middle of your gaming. Alright, so that's all the accessories that are in here. We're going to go ahead and get the keyboard unpackaged and we'll show you what that looks like. Alright, here's the keyboard. We showed you that it comes in a bag. The bag is Velcro. So you just go ahead and open this up. Inside, when you first pull it out, it's going to be inside of its own plastic casing to keep it everything nice and clean from shipping. And then there you have the basic layout. It's going to be pretty similar to most keyboards. You know, it's going to follow that same 104 key extended keyboard design. You do have some media keys that are going to be up here along the top. Along this side, your play, you know, stop, brighten, that's going to be your LEDs, volume up and down, and you have your number keys over here. You also have your one row of macro keys on this side and a row of macro keys on that side. It's 10 total. You can see your space bar. The keys themselves have a nice tacky feel to them, so that as you're running your fingers across, you're not actually going to slide off of the keys. On the back, they have put some large feet on all four corners. That's going to allow this to stick in place. But what they didn't do, which we wish they had, is that on the pop-outs that give this a little bit more angle, they didn't put the same rubber pads here. So when these are up, the keyboard actually moves a little bit easier than it does when they're down. You can see the difference in the amount of force it takes to move this when you're pushing it from the front. So if you do need those angled supports up, just be advised that when you push on it with those up, you lose that resistance in the back. So it's actually going to move around quite a bit more than it would if you don't have those up, or actually if you don't have those down. Now moving on to the fan, we told you that it'll go in one of two places. And you have a couple of little grommets. The fan plugs in right there, and then you can of course angle it, and you also have another one that's over here on this side of the keyboard. Now for easy storage, we showed you that bag, and a lot of people will think, yeah, well, we'll just put it there. But also on the back of the keyboard, Cooler Master is giving you a little spot where you can just put this in place, and it clips in there. So that's actually going to hold it. You can pop it out pretty easy, and then put it where you need it. On the back you have, of course, as we told you, you have your two USB ports. They're right here. This is where you plug in. This will run it along, and you can actually wrap your cable through here to give you a little bit more support for that cable. So the cable is going to come out off to the side, and it's going to hold it directly in there. You're going to have less chance of it being pulled out of the back of this the keyboard. Alright, so that covers the basics of this. So now we're going to go ahead and plug it into a system, and we'll let you see what the lighting looks like and hear what that fan sounds like when it's plugged in and operational. Alright, so we're back and we've got everything plugged in. We also have the hand cooling fan plugged in, and as soon as you get it plugged in, it actually does turn on. There's no noticeable noise. This is not going to be an effect if you're sitting there playing a game. People are not going to be looking at you because you've got a high-pitched, whiny fan on your keyboard. What we've also noticed is that it doesn't provide a whole lot of airflow. We can turn this sideways here. The fan's still moving, and you can see that it barely moves this piece of paper. This is not that thick of a piece of paper. It's not really going to have that much. It'll pull it close, but it doesn't have that much of an effect on the cooling or that the airflow that's going across it. So while you're going to feel some air moving across your fingertips, we doubt that it would keep your hands from getting sweaty if you were running into a gaming session that was that long, and if the room was that warm where you were going to be that get sweaty hands. So it's an interesting feature. It doesn't seem to have much of an effect, unfortunately. So we'll go ahead and we'll move on from there. As you can see, some of this, the TT lights up, as well as the lower red piece here. That lights up, and there's also backlighting that you can see that's barely visible through the keys here. We'll turn off the lights in just a minute and show you the rest of that. Alright, so we have the lights off now, and you can see the backlighting. You can see that TT is brightly illuminated. You do get a little bit of lighting along the lower edge. And you can also see the lighting behind the keys in addition to the actual keys themselves being lit up. So you can see the numbers and letters that are on there, which is nice. Across the top of the board in some of these media spots that we talked about, at the end here is going to be a light that's going to allow you to cycle through the different levels of brightness as well as the different modes here. But you also have another one that's going to allow you to cycle through the different profiles on the board. As I push this button up here at the top, you'll notice that this light changes. That's going to tell you which profile you're currently running. This is a nice feature of most keyboards in that you can directly do it through the keyboard. These profiles are going to be stored in the keyboard. You can pick this up, take it wherever you go. You don't have to have the software installed on that system. You just switch the profile back and forth using the onboard profile key. So that's a nice feature, similar to some of the advanced gaming features that we've seen in some other products, and it brings that into this product, which is really going to be a nice feature for those gamers that move around and might not be using their computer system. They may plug it in somewhere else. If a system is provided, they can bring this with them, of course, in that nice bag that comes with this. So that covers the basics of what we've got going on here with the Thermaltake TT eSports Challenger Pro. We're going to go ahead and get it connected to our gaming system. We're going to put it through its paces, running the fan on both sides of this board to see if it really does offer any kind of improvement to cooling or any kind of gaming improvement. We'll also set up some macros, and then we'll show you how that works out. If you click on the link below, you'll get our full written review complete with photographs and all the detailed information. As always, if you like this video, be sure to click on the like button. Make sure you share it with your friends. And as always, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay up to date with the news and reviews we have for you.